Well, we heard it. But is this definitive proof that Trump is a racist? Let's talk about it, y'all. Middle America. Well, you guys saw the video. The big homie, President Trump, tweeted this, I think, on Saturday. And he said, "Thank you to the great people of the villages. The radical left do-nothing Democrats will fall in the fall. Corrupt Joe is shot. See you soon." Of course, you guys heard at the beginning of this, the guy going, "White power, white power." And that was the video that our president retweeted for all to see. You can't make this stuff up, man. When I first heard this report, I said, no, there's no way. There's no way he did it again. You guys remember that when he was running for president, he was retweeting the KKK at the skinheads or something like that. I was like, there's no way. Look, whoever is doing the work for handling Trump's social media, you guys just gotta ban the big homie from making these pronouncements, man, because they're absolutely horrible. And here's the other thing about Trump. I was scouring his Twitter page, and there's no like formal apology. There's no nothing. He just deletes it and keeps it going like nothing. He just keeps it moving like nothing happened. Here's Time Magazine. After Trump deleted the tweet, White House spokesperson Judd Deere denied in a statement that the president heard the white power comment. President Trump is a big fan of the villages, Deere said, referring to the senior community where the video was reportedly filmed. He did not hear the one statement made on the video. What he did see was tremendous enthusiasm from his many supporters, end quote. And, I guess, if you believe that, then sure. Donald, look, I do not believe that Trump saw this and was silly enough to post it. Because one thing I do not believe about Trump is that he's dumb. Now, a lot of people, when they're angry at a person, they throw every insult in the book at them. And so it's been very in vogue to say that Trump is an idiot. And if you're on the right, it's in vogue to say that AOC is an idiot. I don't believe that anybody that gets on that level is an idiot. And I don't believe that Mr. Trump saw the full swath of that video and then retweeted it with these glowing reviews. So I think he lazily posted the video and then folks got wind of it and then he immediately took it down. But again, there's no follow-up at all to what he's saying. It's just, he pulls it down, he deletes it, and then his guy gets on there and says, hey, Trump didn't see it, and off we go. Okay. Now, a lot of people are hitting me up saying, Vin, this is definitive proof that Mr. Trump is a racist. I don't think that that's definitive proof that Mr. Trump is a racist at all. I think it's definitive proof that he doesn't pay attention, but I don't think it's definitive proof that he's a racist. Now, if you want definitive proof that Mr. Trump is a racist, you need look no further than his Twitter account. Here you go. This was 13 hours ago. Since imposing a very powerful 10-year prison sentence on those that vandalize monuments, statues, etc., with many people being arrested all over our country, the vandalism has completely stopped. Thank you. And then what we have here is Trump, you can see, retweeting the picture of an individual who is accused of being part of these people that are trying to tear down an Andrew Jackson statue in Lafayette Square. The complaint until today alleges that on 22nd June 2020, the four men, along with other unidentified individuals, damaged and attempted to tear down the statue depicting Andrew Jackson located in Lafayette Square. You'll notice here it says Major Crimes Unit. It's a major crime to tear down a statue of Andrew Jackson, and this brother's face is all over the media. I mean, Donald Trump has X million types of followers, and he's retweeting this, the faces of these people, trying to help track this brother down and send him to prison for a decade for defacing a statue. So if you needed proof that Mr. Trump is racist, there you go. The slip up over there, to me, has a bunch of deniability in it. But this is very clear and obvious. Now, people say, Vin, why would you say that that implies some sort of racism? Well, as I've been saying about the statues are a symbolic move on both sides. The tearing down of Andrew Jackson, who was a notoriously horrific slave owner and a horrible racist, and is a person who should not, by any decent non-racist stretch of the imagination, be memorialized in the town square. To attach a 10-year prison sentence to that, which of course is not something that he invented at all, but it's something that he is pushing for it to be enforced with extreme prejudice, is very interesting, because it shows you what Mr. Trump's priorities are. He wants the people who are tearing down statues of slave-owning, slave-raping racists, he wants those protected, and the human beings that would dare to deface these symbols of white supremacy, they need to go to jail for 10 years. Meanwhile, let me read to you the last words of one Elijah McClain, who died last year in 2019. I can't breathe. I have my ID right here. My name is Elijah McClain. That's my house. I was just going home. I'm an introvert. I'm just different. That's all. I'm so sorry. I have no gun. I don't do that stuff. I don't do any fighting. Why are you attacking me? I don't even kill flies. I don't eat meat, but I don't judge people. I don't judge people who do eat meat. Forgive me. All I was trying to do was become better. I will do it. I will do anything. Sacrifice my identity. I will do it. You are all phenomenal. You are beautiful and I love you. Try to forgive me. I'm a mood Gemini. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Ow, that really hurt. You are all very strong. Teamwork makes the dream work. Crying. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to do that. I just can't breathe correctly. When he apologized to the officer, that's because when they had him in the chokehold and he was vomiting, the officer was saying, "Don't get that on my shoe." They tased this brother, this unarmed brother, who looks to be at about 120 pounds. I mean, look at him. They tased him multiple times and then left him in this condition, in which he then was brain dead and he died. He's dead. 22-year-old kid, 23-year-old kid. That case was closed and the officers went off no problem. Why did, now, there's a video, I'll put the link in the description, because there's the amazing Lucas did an excellent job in breaking down this situation. I wouldn't cover the situation because I know my limits, and I'm trying very, very, very hard to maintain my pacifistic stance. And I have my limits. That better not happen to my son, though. So, here you go. This happens to brother, and Trump says nothing. There's no picture of the officers who did this to brother at all. Where are they? Hey, Leah, your man Trump, why is he so big on maintaining these statues and protecting these statues and putting the faces of these people that would dare to face these statues? But the dudes that killed this boy, this kid is about 120 pounds soaking wet. Hey, Leah, why didn't Trump put the faces of the officers who did this to this kid on TV or on his Twitter account for all to see? Breonna Taylor, all you silly, racist, talking about, well, you know, I just noticed that if you just keep to yourself and obey the law, the cops don't mess with you. You're all full of shit. This young lady was an EMT asleep in her house, and the cops came in a no-knock raid and put 8 bullets in her body. And it took 100 days for these people to even be fired, much less charged. Why didn't Mr. Trump put their faces all over the media? Leah? Do you even know the names of the killers of Elijah McClain? Do we know the names of the killers of Breonna Taylor? Do we know the faces of the killers of Breonna Taylor? No. But we know the faces of some dudes that are going to take down a statue of a slave-owning, slave-raping racist. See? Racism is not just, I'm going to kill me some niggers today. Racism, like every other sin, is on a scale. So people running around being silly enough to say white power are on one end of a spectrum. But the other end of the spectrum is this concept that black lives are not valuable. They're certainly not as valuable to Mr. Trump as a statue is. Those are facts. And I can tell what you value based on where you channel your power to defend. Where is he channeling his power to defend? Why isn't Mr. Trump talking about qualified immunity? Why isn't Trump talking about duty to report? Why isn't Mr. Trump talking about duty to intervene? Leah, why is he talking about maintaining these statues? Why? Because it shows you where his priorities are. Those are just facts. Now look, I don't have a problem necessarily with Trump being a racist as a concept. Abraham Lincoln was a racist. I've said in other videos, the only options we've had are racists. Joe Biden is an inveterate racist and worse of a racist than Donald Trump because Mr. Biden has actually passed legislation to destroy the black family, i.e. the crime bill where he said that we were predators and that we were beyond the pale, and then he joked about executing people for jaywalking. So please miss me on the left with, oh, that's right, he's a racist. Now we got to vote for Biden. Stop it. I'm not voting for either one of those racist bastards. But let's stop pretending that this guy is not a racist. He absolutely is. He absolutely does not see the value in black lives, and he absolutely believes that it is important to maintain the monuments and symbols of white supremacy in our culture. Those are just facts. Those are facts. And I'm not saying that as a black person you can't vote for him. I'm not going to vote for him, and I've been consistent across the board for the last 2 years talking about this man and how I would never vote for Mr. Trump. Now, Sori and Izzy have been kind of, up and down on him. I'm not telling you that you're disloyal to the black community if you vote for Mr. Trump. I understand why you would vote for Trump over and against Biden. Because Biden passed a crime bill, Trump passed the First Step Act. I give Trump credit where he deserves it. But here, his obvious racism is shown. It's obvious. He castigated Colin Kaepernick, wouldn't listen to Colin Kaepernick. And if he would have, Elijah would probably be alive today, and George Floyd would probably be alive today. But you know what happened? Mr. Trump got on there on TV and said that all the football owners should fire those sons of bitches, thereby furthering the divide and then emboldening racist bastards like Mr. Chauvin, etc. He emboldened those people, and then we saw the results, and then you know what happened? People started rioting, windows started smashing, and now we're talking about qualified immunity. But our president is still not talking about qualified immunity. This is a massive, massive weakness in Mr. Trump's game. Instead of bringing people together, and instead of acknowledging the pain, he pays lip service to it, but then in his day-to-day life, he does things that are obvious indicators of his understanding of how white and black people are supposed to operate. And that is the reason that these white power folks and these skinheads and these Ku Klux Klanners and the rest of them like him. And he doesn't seem to get it because Trump is not down the spectrum that these people are. These people are on one side of the spectrum of racism. He's kind of right here. And he has no clue as to why the things that he does attracts people further down the scale of racism than he is. So there you go. This is one of the reasons why I say, black folks, we've got to think long and hard. Think rationally. There's no way in the world that Mr. Trump put that up there knowing full well that those people said white power. I don't believe it. But on the other hand, Trump supporters, think rationally. If Mr. Trump actually valued black life at the level that he valued white life, then where would he be channeling his power? And where would he be channeling his aggression? And where would he be making threats for decade-long stints in prison? Have we ever seen a tweet where Trump says, hey, if I see you on a dash cam or your body cam is turned off, you're going to spend some time in jail? Have you ever seen a tweet like that? Have you ever seen a tweet where Mr. Trump says, you know what? They just killed this dude. He's unarmed. They need to throw the book at this guy. And here's the picture of the officers involved in the Breonna Taylor raid. Here's a picture of the cops who killed Elijah. And I need you, if you don't think that that's because he's a white supremacist, you don't think it's because he's a racist, I need you to explain to me why he's so aggressive about statues of long dead rapists and racists and enslavers. Why is he so aggressive about taking a decade of a person's life away from them to uphold these statues, but he doesn't say a word about the people that slaughtered innocent people in their own homes while they're asleep? Yeah, explain that to me. Now look, just because you vote for a racist doesn't mean that you're a racist. We're in a duopoly, politically speaking here. So I don't think that Leah is a racist because she's voting for Trump. Okay? You got two options. You got Trump and you have Biden because the left doesn't know how to fight politically and Bernie surrendered and all the rest of it. There is no non-racist alternative here. Biden is not a non-racist and he is not the lesser of two evils with Trump. You don't see Biden going on and doing anything actually legitimate that's going to stop this bloodletting either. Him kneeling and such doesn't mean anything. A couple weeks ago, he was bragging about his crime bill, and he refused to retract it. So please miss me with this idea. That's right, Vin. Now you're starting to get it. Now we're gonna get. Stop it. We got two massive racists here, and one is worse than the other. Those are facts. Now, if you're on the left and you're yeah, that's right. How could he do that to those people? Your man Biden was destroying people's lives over 5 ounces of marijuana. Same thing. But let's not get this twisted here. Your man Biden was saying that people like me were predators and that we were beyond the pale. A whole lot of them are racist. So look, the video doesn't prove that Trump is a racist, but his Twitter account absolutely does. And I am only saying that because I'm doing my best to communicate the truth, but that does not have implications on who you're going to vote for between Trump and Biden. Because they're not equivalent. Biden is worse than Trump because he's actually initiated policies. Every single time I talk about this stuff, I say, I don't care about the rhetoric, show me the policy. Well, here's a policy. In the milieu, the current zeitgeist that we're in, where we're seeing black people murdered by police, people in their homes, both of them, Jean, Breonna Taylor, people in their homes, and it took 100 days to even fire this guy. Do you think that it's going to take 100 days if they catch brother who had the audacity to take care of this Andrew Jackson statue? You think it's going to be 100 days if they find out where this brother is? You know that dude that knocked out that guy at Macy's? That happened, a week and a half ago? Brother's already in there for question. He's already in the orange jumpsuit facing a decade himself. It took 100 days to fire the killers of Breonna Taylor. And you, Mr. Trump, are angling your political power and your federal power to protect the statues of racist people. If that doesn't show you that this dude is evil and that he's a racist, I don't know what else there is. What else can there be? And like I said, that doesn't necessarily influence who you vote for. Abraham Lincoln was an evil racist. He was a white supremacist. He said so. But I wouldn't be mad at you if you voted for Abraham Lincoln. I don't know what people, white, black, orange, red, neon green. I haven't even asked Zonia or BM Fan or Kellendros, anybody that I know of as progressive left. I don't know who they're going to vote for. I don't know. Man. People wonder why there are riots. Hey, if you wonder why there are riots, you must be literally blind. You must be literally blind and deaf. No disrespect to blind and deaf people, because I still feel like blind and deaf people could pretty much put that syllogism together very quickly. God almighty. Look, here's the last thing I'll say. He's going to have to figure this out. I think he's vulnerable, but I think Biden is such a terrible candidate that Trump may win by default. But I promise you, if you think that this movement is a flash in the pan, let something like a Gavin, let something like a Chauvin happen again, or an Elijah McClain happen again under Trump's watch. Watch. The thing about racist is, one of the things that you can do, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had some members of the KKK actually speak at one of his rallies. Elijah Muhammad was the guy that taught Malcolm X and Louis Farrakhan, okay? He actually had members of the KKK speaking at one of his conferences because he wanted his people to know the mindset of the enemy, and he also wanted people to know places where they actually formed agreement. This is a reason I've got a racist. I've got a bunch of racists in this channel, but only one of them is aware that he's a racist, and that's why I like this brother. People are like, oh, you're giving a platform to racists, blah 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 blah. And if you think I'm talking about you, I'm talking about you. I have multiple racists on this forum. I just have one that's self-aware, and that's what I appreciate about brother. And I can talk to brother, and we can have some co-belligerency and agree and disagree in other places. I know where he is. Some of you guys are like Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense. You don't even know what you are. So look, the point of me saying that is to say you can vote for Trump and still be pro-black and not be a racist. So I'm not saying that because Trump is a racist that everybody who votes for him is a racist. Because you do not have a viable non-racist alternative to Donald Trump. So I understand. That doesn't make you a racist. But good Lord, here's a test. If you care more about the statues and you want these people rounded up, and I'm talking about your emotional life now, you're more emotionally moved by these statues and hearing about this girl who got shot 8 times, a public servant, by the way, an EMT who was studying to be a nurse, and nothing happened for 100 days, then you're racist as hell. But I can still work with you, because for most black people, you better find a way to work with racists in America. Otherwise, you're not going to have a job, or you better make your own business. All right. Love your neighbor. Take care of each other. Middle America, we are the media. Till next time, guys.